Namaskar. I'm at the outset, first of all, thanking the entire NCC IP team led by Dr. Rajneesh Arora ji, Dr. Ajul Asthana ji, Dr. Kumar Sambhav, Upasana Mishra ji, Vanchana ji. You have been absolutely fabulous in terms of continuing to educate our faculty members, more than 40,000 of them in an online mode in the last 1.5 years. And also the student induction program for more than 45,000 students who had registered. And the entire statistics which Dr. Arora ji was just now rolling out, how students have reacted to this is itself a game changing one. You said that I said earlier in 2021 that this whole program itself is a game changer. It's in fact absolutely transformational in terms of the lives of the students, the faculty members, and the entire technical education system in our country. In fact, I'm very happy that on our request, some of the universities also started joining hands, and some universities, in particular, I remember Mumbai University. Vice Chancellor has driven this initiative in such a manner that in all arts, commerce, science colleges also this has become the order of the day. And we want that this should spread to all other educational institutions, whether it is arts, commerce, science college, universities, engineering, architecture, pharmacy, management institutions, as well as, if possible, we will go down to school education. We have already started working with school education system in different ways, and this is also important. And it is all the more important in the perspective of the current our student, whatever they are wanting to do. There was a poll where people also, whether faculty or students, when asked what is the ultimate goal of life, everyone says happiness. Everyone says we want to have a good job. Everyone wants to say that I want to support my family. Everyone wants to also feel that I want to contribute towards my society. This is there intrinsically in everybody's heart. And that's what Swami Vivekananda also had said. Every human being is divine and they have intrinsically some character, quality, but it has to be sometimes brought out. And since inherently that is there, bringing out is not very difficult. And that's why when many people say, can the values be taught? Can they be only caught? And we get into dilemma of this nature, but it can be both caught as well as taught. That is very important. Caught is because when we see people like Dr. Rajneesh Arora, whatever he is speaking, he is following. And then people will also realize that such teachers who, whatever they preach, they themselves follow, naturally students will get attracted towards such faculty members, such teachers. Then on the other side, some of the intrinsic, whatever nature of human being, in order to understand, lots of examples are required. And when we start explaining those with examples, we understand the nuances of them, and then in a way we are able to teach them, or in a way we are able to teach them, or they are going to be taught as well. And therefore, in my opinion, it is either taught or caught, doesn't matter. Essentially, this is absolutely necessary. And the new national education policy, which was rolled out on July 29, 2020, now it is just 1 year, 2 months, it talks about all of these issues. But Dr. Arora ji rightly points out the first sentence itself, that education is meant for full human potential to be explored, to be made use of, and then to create an equitable and just society. And ultimate goal is that of national development. All these three facets are absolutely important. First of all, every human being, as Swami Vivekananda said, is divine. There is an intrinsic, inherent good quality in him. How do we bring it out and see to it that the potential that exists has to be made use of? And while doing it, we have to understand both principles of equity, principles of justness, that is important. And as rightly pointed out, because of our this particular student induction program and universal human values program, it is not because of the law that was passed, that anti-ragging law and anti-ragging committees, they are only in paper. In fact, such programs, universal human values, dignity of labor, understanding the other human being, all of these promote anti-ragging automatically, and that's why we have no ragging at all. Moving away from not just not ragging, but how do we help each other? How do we collaborate with each other? How do we understand the difficulty of the other human being? I think that is true human values. And that's why when we say universal human values, universality is embedded in it, whether it is in India or in any other country of the world. So it is universal on one side. It has humanity or humaneness involved in that, and that's why it is also having values. And values are all common. We talk about truth. Mahatma Gandhi ji always said Satya, Ahimsa, both. He has used them as weapon, in fact, for independence. But truth is there inherent in everyone. Everyone wants to know the truth. You may be lying once in a while, but still at the bottom of the heart, you know that you have lied and you wanted to be truthful. And how do we make that happen? Unless we have hundreds of such examples and workshops we attend, we will not go to that end. Although we know truthfulness is very important, we may not be doing it, and therefore such programs will inculcate that habit of being truthful. We all want to love each other. We want to have such kind of a human relationship where any trouble, any problem which any other human being has, we want to see to it that that person is taken care of. The best possible example was the COVID crisis itself. We have seen lakhs of workers, laborers who lost their jobs, and they had to walk or they have to move by trains and buses to the respective villages in their wherever they belong to. On the way, they did not have to pay a single penny. It was not government, but it was society which fed them food on the trains. There were packets distributed. How did it happen? This quality of loving other human being is inherent. Not only human being. We see that even on a street, if we find that some dog is, trying to have some problem, etc., we go and help. A cow moving on the road, if it has been limping, we try to help the cow. Whether it is any animal also, that nature of human being is such that if you see the difficulty in someone else, we automatically try to help. Some blind person crossing the street, not able to navigate through because of the heavy traffic, we go and give a helping hand. This is absolutely natural phenomenon. So truth, love, that compassion, helping each other, empathy, these are all human characteristics which are already inherent in human beings, but sometimes they bring or brought out, sometimes not. And therefore, this particular program, which focuses not on IQ, intelligence quotient, but how emotional quotient, how social quotient, how this can be developed, is being talked about through 3 weeks of student induction program and universal human values, which we have been doing. We always say our Indian values are time immemorial. Maybe we do not know the history. 4,000, 5,000, 10,000 years ago, some of these values were developed in India, and they are called Indian values, and that's why Indian knowledge systems has all of these components embedded: truth, love, compassion, empathy. And that's why we are always, being social animals, we want to be connected with each other. We have festivals, we have lots of activities which we do together. It may be in the form of Saraswati Puja, Vishwakarma Puja. We come together, we celebrate Diwali, Dasara, also Eid or Christmas. So we have this habit of coming together, celebration, and that is what is human nature. And how this can all be brought in the light of the new national education policy is what we were trying to do. We have another area that our values are not just for our country. We, of course, all students, faculty want to have a good job, good life, therefore good salary is required. So there is certainly need of that. We are not saying that the requirements of body cannot be ignored. We all need it. There may be only few sannyasis who may say that without food or water we can live for a long time. But most human beings, we will require first oxygen, then the water, then food, then shelter. That is what roti, kapda, makan is what many of us keep talking about. But we have to rise higher. It is not just the body, but we have a brain. And this always keeps on functioning, thinks about various issues. And probably out of all the creatures that have been created by the Almighty, or the nature through the evolution, human being, that is Homo sapiens, is the highest of the species. We have ability to think, we have critical thinking ability, we have analytical ability, which none of the animals have. And therefore, having come to this level, how do we make use of this ability which has been developed in us for the betterment of all? And that is where we often talk about Sarve Janaha Sukhino Bhavantu. That is not just myself, I should certainly be happy, but along with me, my family should be happy. Along with my family, my society, in and around my village, my town, my city, my college, they also must be all happy. Not only that, my whole nation should be developed, and all citizens of this country must be happy. And beyond that, our whole planet, which is the only one of its kind which is known to us at least today. We don't know whether there are other planets where there are living beings existing, but at least to the extent that we have scientific knowledge today, this is the only planet, Earth, whom we call as Mother Earth. The national development should be in consonance with the planet's development. That means nature, environment, all of that is to be taken care of. And that's why, whether it is in terms of environment education, whether it is the constitution education, whether it is Indian knowledge systems education, they all should become part of the education system. And that's why in the new national education policy, there has been clear emphasis on values, Indian knowledge systems, innovation, research, and well-being of the entire society. And that's why that just and equitable society. When we say equitable, it is not the distribution of wealth to be equitable. We certainly do require to do work for creating wealth, and we need to be equally responsible in terms of taking care of the environment. We must create a just society that no one should be left out. No one should feel that I'm not taken care of. And that is where the principle of Antyodaya, the last man on the street, maybe in a very remote tribal area of Jharkhand or Chhattisgarh or Nagaland or Mizoram or Jammu Kashmir, no one should feel that they are left out in our education system in terms of development, in terms of all the benefits that the rest of the country is enjoying. And that's why that equitable and just society is important. If we have to achieve that, natural corollary of what is going to be the national development. And therefore, each human being using his or her potential, how we lead towards equitable and just society. In the transformation phase, we create also national development. But we are not happy with national development. We have Sarve Janaha Sukhino Bhavantu means the entire planet. And therefore, whatever good we have been able to do for several, not centuries, but thousands of years, we need to share it with the rest of the world. And that's why ministry started a division called as Indian Knowledge Systems Division in AICTE, and we have been constantly working on conducting research on all the past phenomena. Some of us will feel that they are all like rituals, but some of them have a deep scientific thinking, be it in terms of a lot of Ayurvedic products and medicines that we use today, which helped during COVID times. But I think all that knowledge has to be again reinvented, made to be relevant to today's needs, and we should not stop at only glorifying the past, but how we take it forward and do research in the same area and then help the whole world. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the whole world is our family. Today we talk about global citizen. Global citizen is nothing but Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The whole world is one family, therefore we treat them as equals. And this equality similarly also has that truth is one, and therefore that can be achieved through different means. Different people will probably go through different margas or the routes, but ultimate destination, goal is the same. And if we have to achieve that, we need to have several things to be done in the education system. So many times our students in a classroom, they appear to be more intelligent than teachers. Because of internet, they have lots of information they have gathered, but we must remember that information is only one part of it. Unless that information is well understood, it cannot get converted into knowledge, and unless the knowledge is further converted into wisdom, and then that wisdom is used for the humanity, well-being of all, there is no use of that. And that is where again this universal human values program, student induction program have great value. And all the students, when given questions, the kind of answers they were giving, I feel that the India is in safe hands. The whole planet is in safe hands because younger generation is more concerned about environment. They are more concerned about equity than even elderly people, and that's why teacher education has become important. And our new education policy keeps great emphasis on teacher education. We do have what we say for teaching in school or high school, D.Ed, B.Ed required. There was nothing for higher education. AICT in the last 4 years, we started creating a coursework. 8 modules have been developed for young teachers who are in their first year, second year, and unless they go through these 8 modules, go to an industry for an internship and practice it for one semester, they are not getting regularized. Added to that, this program of universal human values. Right now, we have touched about 45, 50,000 faculty members. That means in every college, we have a presentation. We have in all 8 states, 28 states and 6 union territories, the presentation of universal human values. Trained faculty members exist. Student induction programs are being carried out. And we have found, with great interest, when we conducted some kind of surveys, we found that those colleges where these programs are launched, universal human values and student induction program, there are no problems for the vice chancellor, there are no problems for the faculty members, no problems for the head of the institution and department. Because students have become collaborators, problem solvers, rather than problem creators. I think this is the greatest advantage that we have gained through this particular program. As far as the research is concerned, certainly further research in this domain is required. What more tweaking is required in order to consolidate the gains that we have done? How do we go down? Because many times when these kind of workshops are held, people say that they should start from the school education. They are already constrained by some thoughts by the time they come to higher education at the age of 18. Certainly, yes, but 18 to 25 is also a very transformative age, adolescent age where the human development is taking place at the fastest possible rate. Of course, right from school, if you do it, and the new education policy talks about 5-3-3-4 system. That means child entering at the age of 3. I'm saying why there? Even parenting is required. Parents have to be also made to go through the Indian knowledge system. They have to go through the universal human values programs. Thereby, when the child is born at home, first 3 years also those values are to be inculcated, no doubt. But it is a long way because we have, over a period of 75 years with the British legacy, we lost touch with our own ancient wisdom that we had Gurukula system, we had Nalandas and Takshilas of the world, and to reinvent, we'll have to struggle a little bit. The 3 years of AICT's association with the NCC IP team and the kind of work that we have done has clearly shown that results are positive and they are very, very encouraging. And if we certainly continue with this, and all those 45,000 teachers who have been trained under this, if there is a repeat, maybe a refresher course after 1 or 2 years, so that sometimes, we get rusted, that we see that the iron which is there, or even gold for that matter, silver at home, we see that because of corrosion, there are layers which are there and we need to polish them. So same way, human being also, although those values are intrinsic, sometimes there is some polishing required, honing required. And this honing comes from such programs, such workshops. And if we understand the correctness of this, and that if we do that, not only I will be happy, but my surroundings will be happy. And this philosophy, when embedded, and same thing taught to our students, and students in turn become citizens, the whole society will get transformed, the whole nation will get transformed. And what our Prime Minister often says, Naya Bharat, New India, I think that New India will be holistic, that New India will be encompassing all sections of the society, no one feeling left out. That is what is the Antyodaya in the truest possible spirit. And this program also has healthcare system, Ayurveda and yoga, meditation, sports. Sports is very important. Unless the body is fit, mental fitness will not be there. And therefore, body fitness, mental fitness, emotional fitness, and finally, our Atman should feel elated. All of that Indian values, how do we inculcate, are going to be done through this. Lastly, I would like to talk about connect between our institutions, between the institutions themselves, collaboration in the institution between different departments, faculty and students. This program has again proved that the relationship between students and teachers has improved to a great deal. 20 students and one faculty member. When they engage in these 3 weeks, they become friends. They become advisor, mentor automatically without being nominated. We have otherwise in the system of even IITs and other institutions, I have seen that first year students, maybe 500, they are divided into batches of 20, 25, one faculty is allotted. And in the whole 4 years, except for taking which course, etc., and taking the signature of the faculty member as an advisor, the faculty and students never met. But here, when they are constantly in engagement for 3 weeks, they literally become like guardians, friends, advisors, mentors. And whenever students have a problem, they will straight away go to them and open their heart and then tell their problem, and the problems get solved. And this is an excellent exercise of Guru Shishya Parampara that ancient India followed. And this one, we can extend it. Senior students helping the junior students, alumni coming back to the college and helping, whether it is in terms of giving lectures, giving some support, or in employment, or in creating startups or entrepreneurial ventures in the institution. Alumni and industry connect is also important. If you do all of this, I'm sure the industry, which keeps on lamenting often that our student graduates are not having any, no, number one, communication skills. They say that they may be not having the knowledge or information, but they have poor communication skills. This program also provides communication skills. It provides team spirit. It provides time management. It provides holistic education in a nutshell. So even though the courses may be only 2, and other courses are really training them in technology and many other subjects like humanities and social sciences, economics. They may also be taught various types of engineering subjects, computer programming. Apart from that, these 2 or 3 courses of universal human values at the time of induction and later course are the ones which industry will appreciate. Because none of the industries want students who are not ethical. They all want honest people. They all want people who are, whatever is there, they will put in their total heart and soul into it. They want people of this nature. And even for creating a startup and becoming successful, a lot of hard work is required. This is what takes them through this journey. And realization of, again, I'm repeating, dignity of labor. That any work that we do, none of the works are poor or higher or lower. Any work, blue collared or white collared, anything is important in a society. And this philosophy also gets embedded through this. I think I have had enough of speaking now. If there are any questions and if there are any suggestions to further improve upon this, I think they are welcome. And I really thank all the people who have joined today in very large numbers, more than 1,000 in the Zoom webinar itself, and another 1,000 plus maybe on the YouTube and other channels. And this recording will be available if you watch that. And once in a while, as I said, revision is important. While going to examination, we do revision. So this revision will also help us in keeping ourselves, to be honest, to be high level of integrity, and will make our country a great country. Namaskar, Dhanyavad.